Hey everyone, welcome to my playthrough here of Snowrunner, which is the next iteration of the MudRunner series. I just got MudRunner a couple of days ago and I absolutely fell in love with the game. So when I found out about Snowrunner, initially I had mistakenly thought it was some DLC, but as it turns out it's an entire standalone game. So I decided that I was going to pick it up, which I did, and so here we are. I did play a little bit offline just to kind of get familiar with the controls. They are very similar to MudRunner with some differences, and we'll talk about what those are. I'm going to kind of contrast the game and give you just a little bit of my thoughts as I play through the tutorial. So we're going to play through tutorial today, and let's get started. Right, so this is where we start. Looks like we're in a nice little half-ton pickup truck, which is kind of cool. Looks to be a Chevy, older one, probably mid-90s. It's got the flares on the back, or the big, so the oversized fenders and the smaller cap, which is kind of, or sorry, oversized quarter panel. I don't know. Anyways, so this is the guided tutorial. It starts off the game. It's very similar to the one in MudRunner, but I think that this one actually is a little bit more open. So it goes through each piece, which we're going to go through. So we want to go M to open the map. I've got a lot of these keys mapped to my steering wheel already. So these are all the defaults. If you have a steering wheel, it doesn't actually tell you what the steering wheel controls are. But with this, well, at least with my steering wheel, it doesn't. It might for a more recognized controller or a steering wheel. But anyways, so your tracked objective shows up here. Let's go find that Watchtower. So nothing really out of the ordinary here. I do like the interface. I think it's a lot. Nicer than MudRunner. It's a lot cleaner. The contrast is nice. It's easy to locate information. There's a couple little quirks that I found, but we'll talk about them as I run into them. Anyways, so the tutorial basically is space to continue, and then you just go escape to get out of that. Alright, so by default the handbrake is on. We're going to turn it off using space, and then we're going to go. So you start off in automatic. So right off the hop, we get some, if you saw that, we get some pull to the side, which is kind of neat, right? If you give the accelerator a little bit of gas and you're in rear-wheel drive, your diffs aren't locked, it's going to pull to the right, which is kind of neat. So we're just going to keep going in non-all-wheel drive version, and we're already caught up. This is one of the things I really love about this game, is that it's so easy to get caught up stuff. You don't want to spin your tires. I'm going to back up a little bit here. See if I can reverse out of this problem. Alright, let's see if we can go around that. So let's keep going. And turn this down a little bit. It's a little on the loud side. Oops. Perfect, there we go. So when driving on rough terrain, you can switch to low gear. Pretty standard fare if you played the game before, or if you like, or if you drive a vehicle with the low gear. Hold left shift and move the left to activate the low gear. Now this is something that I thought was really, really interesting. In contrast to having to right-click the button or to click on the gear shift lever in MudRunner, with this you hold down left shift and then move your mouse. So what I've done is I actually have a Razer keyboard, and I've got that shift mapped to my right mouse button to make it an entirely one-handed operation, which makes things a lot easier. If you have that option to remap your keys, maybe go ahead and do that. That may not work out in my favor later on if I need that right mouse button mapping for something else, but for now let's use it. So we're going to switch into low gear, holding down the shift key and then moving your mouse to the left. It's very easy, it's very convenient. So now I'm in low gear, and we're going to be able to navigate through the mud. Well, we're supposed to be able to navigate through the mud. I'm going to switch back into reverse here real quick. Apparently I got stuck. Alright, let's see if we can't do that one more time. Now the all-wheel drive is flashing. I'm not sure if it's telling me to go into all-wheel drive or not. It didn't specifically say so in the tutorial. But let's go into reverse one more time and see if we can get out of this without actually using all-wheel drive. Alright, so can't get out of it using all-wheel drive. I'm pretty hung up, but this is something kind of neat. So the winch, you have access to a winch in this game, and you can attach it to anything basically that has an attachment point. And when you you'll know what has an attachment point is when you hit the winch button. It will show you around you what you can attach it to. So activate the functions menu with V. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And that gives you your attachment points for your winch. It looks like we have a few different points around the vehicle where you can attach a winch to. I'm hard-pressed to believe that you could attach a winch to your rear wheel well or your bottom rocker here or the front fender. But hey, I mean, it is what it is. So right now I'm going to attach from here to that tree because it looks like that's probably where we're going to have an attachment point. So what's really cool is in MudRunner you had to click the source and then click the destination. But here all you got to do is click and hold. It's actually a much smoother operation, and then it'll show you all the different attachment points around you. In this case there's that tree stump. So you click and hold, drag it over, it highlights, let go, and you're attached. So now you actually have to hit escape to get out of this before you can actually winch. So we're going to start winching. Shoot, it's F to pull the winch. And you can hear that winch kick in. You hear that noise? That in conjunction with driving slowly forward should pull me out of the rut. And there we are. And it's R to release the winch. Alright, so I'm kind of out of it now, I think. A little bit. So your truck is all-wheel drive capable. The all-wheel drive will also help in rough terrain to increase your fuel consumption. So for this, I have my all-wheel drive map, but those are the default keys that you see. So by pressing E, we can go into all-wheel drive, which makes it a lot easier to get out of ruts. Now, the thing you have to remember with all-wheel drive is, with all-wheel drive, not necessarily all four of your tires aren't necessarily spinning. It doesn't mean that all of your drivers are spinning. It just means that a specific drive tire is spinning on one of your axles. So, which should get you out of most situations. We're going to talk about locking differentials after this, and now by no means am I a 4x4 expert, but I've played around enough with this game to know that locking diffs are a good thing if things go really bad for you. But you don't want to leave all-wheel drive engaged for the most part at all times, because you're going to increase your fuel consumption. You notice right now, if I'm just in like low, I'm using about, on the bottom left-hand side there, it says about 1 liter per minute. Oh, I'm caught up again. Shoot, let's go back, see if I can get out of this. And I'm caught up again. Well, let's kick in all-wheel drive, and then we'll see, in contrast, how much more fuel you use. So now, shoot, let's go forward. Oh, I'm stuck again, really? Oh yeah, there we go. So now I'm using just just under double. Now take a look at my fuel consumption. Now I'm using considerably more. Okay, so I'm using about 1 liter per minute all-wheel drive. I'm gonna turn it off, and then let's see what we're gonna use. Oh, look at that. It uses about the same. It's probably because I'm spinning my tires. Oh no. Huh. That's supposed to increase your fuel consumption. That should be about half. Let's kick on all-wheel drive again. Oh, it kicked up a little bit. Okay, so it doesn't affect it that much, but it does put a strain on your fuel. When you're in the middle of nowhere and you're trying to conserve fuel, that becomes much more of a concern. Out here, not so much, because we're kind of in the free, but we're going to be coming up on a fuel point pretty soon. So I'm going to continue on up this way here, which is part of the tutorial. I'm going to stay in all-wheel drive mode because I really just don't want to get stuck. I'm just going to keep inching along. Now the trick with this game I found is that you don't want to spin your tires. The original was called spin tires, and the next one was called MudRunner. But despite the name of spinning tires, that's the last thing that you want. You want to spin those tires as slowly as possible, let them latch onto whatever it is that they're trying to grip, and then just try to torque your way out of a situation. Alright, so now that I'm back on even service, I'm going to kick out the all-wheel drive, and then we're just going to keep going. So we want to find that watchtower, basically. Oh, or I'm still in low gear. So let's go into automatic, which will give us access to all the rest of the gears. Now, I believe if you have a Logitech G29 with a shifter, you will have access to those, like direct access to those gears, and there's ways that you can map things that will also give you access to gears. I'm just using a lot of the default configuration. Initial thoughts right off the hop, driving in here versus MudRunner, is that driving is more it's more planted, it's more stable in this game on the pavement. One of the things that I noticed, and I wasn't a big fan of, was that on MudRunner, the vehicles on road would perform a lot like as if they were on mud, like they were very it was very slippery, even like a grade that looks like it shouldn't challenge a half ton. I found myself slipping out my back end and things like that. It didn't seem very realistic in that respect. It seems a little more realistic in this game. Alright, so you'll encounter different types of terrain, such as road, dirt, mud, water, rocky slides, and so on. So this game has a lot of different types of terrain. We're going to see snow and things like that, so there's going to be a lot for you to contend with. Only the most experienced drivers with well-equipped vehicles can drive on any kind of terrain. When in doubt, there's no shame in avoiding danger. You can find out more about the different types of terrain in the codex from the escape menu. So that looks like there's a codex that you can refer to, which is kind of cool. So essentially, what this alludes to is that there's customization in this game, and I was fortunate enough to be able to finish the tutorial fairly quickly early on, and I got to a point where I got to see the customizations options, and let me tell you something. That alone makes the game totally worth it. So let's continue on here. It's going to take us through this sort of rough patch. It purposely blocks off that road. We could probably sweep around and go through that water, but I'm going to go through what the tutorial suggests. So essentially, we're going to go through this mud. This is where I got caught up earlier. I'm pretty sure that you're going to sink. And what I found is neat is if you take a careful look at my wheels. I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to do that again. And I want you to take a careful look at my wheels as to what happens. Let me just get into all-wheel drive here. Let's see if I can get out of this situation. Wait, we want to go reverse. Go into all-wheel drive and reverse, and I want you to take a careful look at what happens to my wheels. Now, I don't know for sure if this happens in MudRunner, but I know for sure it happens here. I'm gonna go through. Actually, I'm gonna angle my camera so you can see that front wheel. Keep your eye on that front wheel. So if you see me go through it, now I'm just gonna stop for a second, and if you watch, you can actually see me sink. See, I'm just floating just above, but if I let it go, you'll see that it actually is sinking. So the physics for the mud in this game, amazing. It adds an extra level of challenge because I was actually found myself in a swamp where that became a massive problem. Like here, not so much because it's mud, but definitely in the swamp area. Holy crap! You're fighting between should I gun it and spin my tires or should I sink? That was not a consideration for me in MudRunner. It definitely is one here. So let's go back to the winch because it appears as though I'm stuck. Do I have anything to anchor to? Not so much. Anything over here? Nope. I am in deep trouble here. Okay, so let's get out of this. Let's see if we can't reverse out of my problem here. to try and tackle this a different way. I mean, that mud is considerable. I'm going to try and just go around it on the left-hand side there, see if I can kind of avoid the deeper parts of the mud. Alright. I do enjoy driving these vehicles in, like, manual mode. It just gives it a much better feel, I think. Alright, so here we go. We're going to try driving around all of that mud, but now here I have to contend with rock. So, let's, we don't want to spin our tires on this. We want to make sure that we're just barely torquing it. Front tire's spinning, but the rear tires are bit in. But those rocks present a considerable challenge. And notice that my vehicle is actually starting to tip over because I'm such an angle. All right, cool. Now I can attack this one of two ways. Like I actually can just punch it straight through this. I can go into automatic mode and just punch it all the way through this whole mess, which wouldn't be a problem either. But you generally don't want to do that. See, right now I'm just all-wheel driving through the whole thing, which is kind of cool from an arcade perspective. If you like that kind of gameplay, sure, that'll work for some of these maps. But when you get to the parts of the maps that are a lot deeper, see that big rock there? That's going to give me some grief. Just went over that. You'll find that simply gunning your engine does not work. Alright, so here I am at the refuel station. Alright, so we're going to refuel here. Let's see. There we go, so now we're refueled. Alright, so... awesome. So that's the first part of the tutorial. The second part now is to basically we need to get to that vehicle. Find the Watchtower. So we need to find that Watchtower. So we have access to a map now. The map for MudRunner is actually really, really good. I do enjoy this map. You've discovered a fuel station. Okay, so it tells you about the fuel station, but we need to get here from this point. Now, I don't know why we can't zoom much closer than this. I feel like we should be able to, but it seems that some of the stuff can get fairly crowded. That might be something that they look into at a later date. But essentially, it gives you, like, look at the size of this map. Unbelievable. Like, if we're using Watchtower radius as sort of a marker for the size, it was basically, I mean, I think that the MudRunner maps were about a quarter of the size of these things, and this is the tutorial maps. I think the other maps are much bigger. So not much is different here. It gives you all the types of buildings that are available to you here on the left, what vehicles you have unlocked and available to transfer to on the left as well. There are different tabs that you can navigate to. So in addition to just the objects themselves, like trucks, trailers, and buildings, we now have contracts. That's a big thing in this game, which gives you a lot more activity to do, which is essentially going to let's say, increase the replayability of this game. There's so much to do, at least, when you get to the next part of this. And then you have your tasks, so the things that you need to accomplish. So we're going to move back to this, and so we're going to make our way down this way. You can place markers, I believe, by double-clicking or right-clicking. Could be wrong. Thought there was a way. Delete last waypoint. Oh, so it's right-click to add a destination point, which I now have mapped to my to my shift button. Interesting. Okay, well, so that's going to be a problem. I can't add a destination point. I might have to remap that to something else. All right. Well, we'll worry about that later. I don't really need a waypoint marker. I know my way over here, but essentially we're going to go down this whole way until we reach that that Watchtower. So let's head down there now. I'm going to take the back way through here. Just like anything else, there's always a couple of different ways that you can attack it. If you notice the map, I could probably hit it from this way as well, come up this way, and go that route. But I'm going to go down this way. I believe this one's a little more treacherous, actually, so it should provide us a little more of an interesting traverse. So let's head down this way. Now, instantly, you're going to see right there. I mean, that looks terrifyingly deep, even for a pickup truck. And we're in all-wheel drive mode right now. We don't have access to locking differentials, so I'm going to avoid that altogether. And I'm going to go on the left here, so that I can... I don't have to worry about that. Otherwise, the first time I attempted this, I went through there, and I got caught up in that. You want to avoid anything that's super, super deep. So I'm going to try and ride the edge here. This doesn't look so bad. You start to get used to reading the terrain and seeing, like, here it looks like that's probably softer mud. Here it's a little drier in contrast, so I could probably get through there a little easier. And then there's the ruts. I'm going to try and ride over the ruts. And here we are at the Watchtower. So that was a little bit easier. Alright. Cool. So we are now at the Watchtower. The music increases to let you know you're getting closer to an objective. And there we are. Good job, you discovered your Watchtower. Discovering Watchtowers will be your path to the map. To repair the bridge, you need a bigger vehicle to transport materials. Open your map to look at your surroundings. Objective, find a truck capable of transporting the materials needed to repair the bridge. So this is where things differ a little bit from MudRunner. In MudRunner, you really only had one task, which was basically delivering logs to drop off points, and that was it. That was all. With this, you are an active participant in the construction and repair and all the jobs and contracts that are available in the area that you're operating in. And there are multiple areas to operate in. I believe the next part we're going to be in Alaska. That'll be the next video. But so let's keep going here, and you're going to see exactly what I mean in just a moment. One of the things I like about this game, one other thing I like about this game is that it gives you multiple ways to attack an objective. So I could go any one of those two ways right there. Essentially, I need to get to this area here, so I can go through either one. I'm going to take the short way around this time. I went the long way last time, which I'm not entirely sure why I did that, but hey, it's all fun in MudRunner. So I'm going to go through here. And we're going to come up on a really interesting hill. This is going to look like, honestly, the descent looks like it's like a water slide. Here, I'll stop at the top of the crest of this hill here so you can see exactly what we're dealing. Like, take a look at that. That's really steep. Oh, man. So we're going to traverse that. We're going to stay out of automatic. We're just going to keep it in low. And we're going to head down. And we're going to let our gear slow us down. Instead of actually riding our brake, we're just going to stay in low, and that's going to slow our descent. I'm not hitting the accelerator at all. I'm just descending basically under my own power. I've let go of the accelerator. Oh, now, okay, I'm stuck. I've stopped, so I'm gonna hit the accelerator a little bit, and I'm going to avoid all of that mud there, because that's just really a pain in the ass. And now I'm sitting in all-wheel drive low. And we're going to head all the way down this pass. Just like that. And we're going to come across another part of this hill that's fairly steep as well. This one I don't think we need to do the all-wheel drive low. We can probably just navigate it using an accelerator. Oh no, okay, so I did let go of my accelerator, just let my gear slow me down, let the low gear slow me down. Alright, and here we are. We have a lumber mill, but that's not the only industry that's in this game. You're gonna see right away. So I'm gonna stay in four-wheel. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go to automatic here. This is fairly dry ground, and I believe I need to head up this way somewhere. Yeah, there we go. All right, so I'm gonna go across this way. I'm gonna try to avoid all of that muck there, which no, I'm not gonna be able to. Oh, maybe. No, I'm good. All right. So we made it through. we now come across our very first vehicle unlock in the game here for this area, which is our GMC H9500. So now that we're here, we've accomplished this task. You found your first highway truck. This truck is designed for roads, so there are no off-road options included. Try not to fall into the swamp, drive into the deep mud with it. You can find out more about the different types of trucks in the codex available from the escape menu. And hit OK. There's this weird kind of cursor thing that happens. I'm not sure if that's my system or if that's a game glitch, but it really gets annoying. It just kind of freezes in the center. It looks like that cursor should disappear. It's when you're in camera movement mode. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So to enter the truck, open the functions menu and press by pressing V. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Again, it shows us our hitch points. All right, so it shows us our hitch points right here. Sorry about that. So we're going to go to, we're going to click on change truck, and it's going to give you this option right here to go switch to the GMC. We click that little icon, and then instantly we're transported into the GMC. There doesn't appear to be, there's no walking in this game. You actually just kind of teleport magically from vehicle to vehicle, place to place. But it is what it is. It's not the best truck for the job, but that it will have to do. The company's Steel River Township is waiting for you to repair the bridge. You can find contracts like this in the main menu. So I mentioned that we were going to be talking about contracts. These contracts are actually what make this game a lot more interesting than MudRunner, I find. Now, I keep kind of harping on MudRunner. Like, MudRunner was the reason why I bought this game in the first place. But as soon as I saw what you could do in this game, or what this game was going to offer you in terms of gameplay, I pretty much put MudRunner down. And I only got it a couple of days ago. So that gives you an idea of how strong of a presentation these guys have. So let's take a look at those contracts, and then once we see the contract, we can end this tutorial, or this section of the gameplay, and then we're going to continue on with the second part in the next video. So let's take a look here real quick. Press M to open up your menu, and you'll see that there's an indicator here that says new contracts available to you. So we click that, and there's your Steel River Township. You can see a list of employers available in the current region of Michigan. They offer you contracts related to the activity. So let's see what Steel River Township proposes. So this is, I guess it's based on the municipalities and what's offered in each municipality. So we've got a contract for old bridge reconstruction. Now, essentially what we're doing there is we are reconstructing a bridge in town. We're going to be tasked with supplying or transporting materials from one place or from a supplier to the bridge. And as we transport those materials, you'll actually see the bridge get constructed, which is really, really neat and very satisfying. Adds to the gameplay experience. So some contracts are locked. You can check the details of the contracts and find out how to unlock them. Let's take a look at the old bridge reconstruction contract. Okay, so if we take a look at that contract, it takes you to the reconstruction. So you notice that here, even on the map, there is no bridge here. Once you complete this contract, you're actually going to see the bridge materialize here. You'll see it built in-game. It's kind of neat to watch it actually happen. So the requirements for this, we need to deliver some metal planks and some wooden planks. So there is a metal industry, there's a lumber industry, and then for my troubles, I'm going to get 350 experience points and 2,100 cash. So the cash, I love the fact that we now have money in this game. There's a currency involved, there's an economy, because that goes towards purchasing upgrades and things like that for your trucks. You can purchase more trucks, so there appears to be a real sense of progression. We'll see how that plays out as I continue to do these Let's Plays. And then you've also got experience points as well, which I believe gives you some additional skills. I'm not sure, I can't remember what this was for, but we're going to go ahead and activate that, and then I'm going to end this tutorial. End this first video. And in the next video, we're going to continue on. We're going to build that bridge, and that'll probably be a video unto itself. And then from once we're done that video, then we're going to go up to Alaska. It's going to be really, really neat. I hope you guys join us, or hope you guys can join me. My name is Mike, and we'll see you again soon.